What's up everyone? Welcome back to the channel. Today I'm doing something that Sony never intended, adding full working Wi-Fi to a CECHB01 PlayStation 3. The B01 is the only launch PS3 that shipped without Wi-Fi, even though the motherboard is almost identical to the A01 version. Thanks to a very detailed community guide, it turns out Wi-Fi can be added, but this is not a beginner's mode. This involves micro-soldering, syscon UART access, factory service mode, and firmware work, so continue only if you know what you're doing. You can break your console permanently. So of course, before attempting this mod, I've done some Google research if there was anyone before me who have done this type of mod, and you can see but it was done by this guy. So we're gonna focus on this tutorial. It was done by Matt C. And here he's talking about how he went through all of this process. So we will just follow his steps, and we will try to repeat the same thing. So of course, whatever he mentions, he mentioned that this guide assumes that you know how to micro-solder, access syscon, jailbreak your PS3, and use FSM jig on firmware 3.55. FSM stands for factory service mode, and of course he reminds never use FSM jig or this file on firmware above 355 because you're gonna break your console. So again, do all steps in order, and of course continue at your own risk. In this guide, he also gives us this download link. There is the whole package of tools and software needed to do this mod, and I have this already downloaded, so I'm not gonna download this again. So here you can see unzipped package from this link I just showed you, and we're gonna follow all of the steps he just mentioned. So first step is make sure the console is on EvilNAT software and get dump of a flash memory. Save the bin in a safe place. Do not skip. So let's turn the console on and confirm this step. As you can see, we have EvilNAT software, and let's confirm which version is it. Okay, let's go to system settings, and of course at the very bottom, system information. So as you can see, we have 4.92 version, and we are connected to Ethernet. Of course, we have to save somewhere our dump. So first, let's use Rufus to format our drive. Of course, we have to have this non-bootable selection here selected, and our partition scheme, it's gonna be MBR. So whenever we know, let's we can of course delete all the data, let's click start, and we're gonna format our USB stick with Rufus. So with our stick formatted, let's go to our console. This is this B version. It's not fully assembled, so we're gonna have easier access to all of that internal parts. So we're gonna put our USB stick to far right slot, and let's go back to our PS3. So we are back in our PS3. Let's go to internet browser, and we're gonna go to PS3 toolset site to do that memory dump. This one takes a little bit to load, and just keep remembering that we are connected to Ethernet port. We are not connected to Wi-Fi because we are not able to. So let's wait a second until that website will load. And here it's, as you see, it started. Of course, do you want to run the plugin? Yes. Always click yes. And let's wait until all of this will load. So in a moment, we're gonna be in. As you could probably hear it, it beeped 3 times. Okay, we can click OK here. Go to System Manager. And whenever we are here, it's gonna be our first option. Flash memory. Okay. And of course, save. Here we have to go to our USB and click save. This one will take a moment to dump its NAND. Let's wait a little bit until the whole process will be done. Okay, it's done, and now we can click close, and we can go out and close the browser. So now let's plug back our USB into the computer, and we're going to be using a software called PS3 Checker to check if our dump is correct and we have no errors. So this is how our folder on USB looks like. So let's just copy our dump, and let's paste it to our PS3 checker. Okay, let's paste it here. So we have our dump, and now we just have to drag and drop, as the name says, on this path file. Of course, we need to hit run, and this is our PS3 checker. After drag and dropping this file on that software, we can see its checkups, and as you can see everywhere here, we have OK. So the most important is here gonna be number of dangers and number of warnings. If we have 0, we are good to go with this one. We have no issues with this dump. We can save it for later. It will save us if something gonna go wrong. So again, keep in mind, keep that dump in safe place. Don't skip this step. So now we can go to point number 2, copy files from the 3.55 Rogero downgrader folder onto the root of a USB formatted as FAT32. We already have it. We will just delete our dump file and copy that Rogero PS3 files. So let's go to our folder 355 and let's copy and paste our files to our USB stick. Oh, you don't see the progress bar, I see. OBS doesn't catch it. Okay, but we are having it done. Always remember to eject. Okay. So let's continue and go to step number 3. Insert the drive into the far right USB port on the PS3 and install the following package named Toggle QA. After installation, you don't need to open the app yet. So let's go to our PS3. So we are in Package Manager. Let's go to Install Package Files, Standard, and we have that Toggle QA here. Install completed. Let's go back. So now we have to go to Network, Custom Firmware Tools, QA Tools, and let's go to Enable QA Flags Advanced. QA Flags Enabled. So Let's go back to manual. So now restart the system after QA flag have been enabled. So let's go back and restart the system. Turn off, yes, and let's turn this on. So we are back with our system. Let's go to our manual. So after restarting, number 6 says install the system update file. So we're gonna go to settings, system update. Where is it? System settings. Here, system update. Via storage media. And we are clicking OK. So here I faced an error, and I thought it's because I am not on PEX version. I was on CEX EvilNet. So here I am trying to update it to PEX version as it's in the tutorial. So first let's install EvilNet 4.92 PEX. Let's copy it from here. All of the folders, copy, go to our flash drive and paste. Whenever we have it copied, let's eject our flash drive and put that USB stick to our console. Far right USB stick. So now whenever we are in our menu, let's go system update via storage, and we're gonna have this 4.92 update. So this didn't work too. I had to use a safe mode and go into this update, and this helped. In safe mode, I was able to install that 4.92 PEX EvilNet. So finally, we can confirm that we are on version 3.55, and this is the same version needed from the manual. So the manual says now we are on 355. We will use a factory service mode jig to enter factory service mode called FSM. For this FSM mode, we're gonna use TNC++ 2.0 programmed with a specific firmware called lv2diag.self. To program the TNC, we're gonna be using this tiny software here. We need to open hex our PS grade TNC, and as we are on auto, we're gonna just click the button on the TNC, and as you can see, it recognized it, and we're gonna click program complete. So we are done. We have our TNC jig prepared. Again, there is a warning: never use that FSM jig or this file on firmware above 355. We just confirmed that we are having that firmware installed on our console. So now with the system powered off, toggle the red LED light off and on using the rear switch. So we are using that back switch to toggle it. So 9, proceed to plug the TNC into the far right board USB port on the PS3. So let me show you this. This is the far right port here under this daughter board. So now we're gonna have a tricky one because we have to quickly press the power button and then eject button. Do not press both at the same time. If the console does not enter FSM, you were not fast enough. You will know if the jig worked if the system turns off on its own after several seconds. So let's find out. And the system turned off. So let's go back to manual. You can now unplug the teens and turn on PS3. So let's unplug it. Confirm that this is in PS3 factory service mode. So you can see now we are in factory service mode. We have that red rectangle showing us that we are in FSM. So to confirm that, we can go back to our manual, which will show us the same window. And we have another warning: do not install any firmware in that XMB while in FSM. We cannot install anything while in factory service mode. Installing any firmware in that FSM XMB will break the NAND. Firmware should only be installed using a 355 blind update. Never put FSM JIC in a console on firmware above 355. Never use the blind update files outside 355 FSM. You will corrupt the bootloader if you ignore these warnings. So we all have been warned. So let's move on to number 12. So now number 12, we need to turn that PS3 off and disassemble it down to the motherboard. So just to mention, in FSM mode, the controller doesn't work wirelessly. You have to connect the wire to turn off the console. Yes. So we have our console taken down to bare PCB. I also have another board. This is also COK001, but from CECHB01 version. So this is our donor board. Unfortunately, this is the one. Probably it was baked in an oven. I bought it already. Well, some attempts to fix this console were done, and unfortunately I wasn't able to fix it. It gives me some weird errors, and it goes for parts. Beside the other board for parts, we need to have a daughter board with a Wi-Fi module on. This is that original B version. As you can see, it's missing that Wi-Fi module and some other small components. Because at the beginning, I've been just thinking to solder this Wi-Fi module on it, and that's gonna be done. Unfortunately, this daughter board also is missing some other components, so it's much easier just to get any other daughter board from that CECHB01 or E version and just use this one. So let's go to the tutorial back. So our tutorial is showing us what kind of components do we need. It shows us that we're gonna need a fuse, a bipolar transistor, a diode, some resistors, capacitors, and of course this Wi-Fi board I just showed you. It's marked at CECHB01. So the tutorial is also showing us those components which have to be replaced and where to harvest them from. So let me just switch to other boards and switch to microscope, and I'm going to show you which are those components. So now let's take a look on that R3704 and 3705 resistors and capacitors C5303 and C5502. This is the view from our board, and as you see, these are missing. So we have to take them from our donor board and solder them here. So let me use my tweezers and harvest those components from the donor board. So first, let's add some flux and put some of that leaded solder. Okay, small hiccup with a microscope. So again, let's put some leaded solder. I hope you're gonna see it. And here too. And to be honest, let's do something different. Let's remove this solder completely, and we're gonna use leaded solder here. So let's try to remove everything. So we're gonna make it flat, and we're gonna add just one side of the pad, so that's gonna be much easier to hold that components in place while solder them. Okay, so we have just one side, and I already do have this tiny component here, and I'll be honest with you, this is not an easy soldering job. It's really tiny. I should have a caliper somewhere here just to show you how tiny these components are. Okay, so we have our first component, just to show you where I'm taking them from. Okay, that's our donor board. And let's grab another one. Okay, we do have it. Go back to our board, and let's put it back here. Again, let's use our station. Maybe we can zoom it in a little bit. I should do it the opposite way to solder this first. Okay. After all, I'm going to use some hot air station to make sure they are soldered correctly. Okay, let's move on to these two. So again, same thing. Let's put our donor. I believe these are these two. So let's put a little. Oh, that's a lot. That was too much, but okay. And let's try to take this resistor off. Okay. Okay, we have it. And which one was it? That was the bottom one. And let's put this one here. Okay, this one's done. Next one, please. Oops. Okay. Try not to squeeze it, or at least break it. And let's go back. Okay, slowly. Come on. Okay, let's add some solder. Maybe that's not enough. Okay, that's done. So just to mention, we're adding 13 components, and also removing 5. So yes, fun. So we are already having this these two soldered, these two, and we have to remove this C3594. So let's go back to our board, and we can see this component here. So we have to remove this capacitor. Okay. Oh, come on. I believe we need some flux. Again, too much, way too much. It's a brand new syringe, and whenever I'm gonna squeeze it just a little bit, a lot of that flux goes out. Okay, come on. Little capacitor. Okay, we have it. Nothing damaged, nothing. Just in case we would like to reverse this mod, we always can go back. Okay, we have this fixed. Let's go back to manual. And let's go to the next page. So now we are just removing R3516 and 3517. So let me find those on the board. We have some clues here because this is over this CECHB01 marking on the PCB. Okay, we are back on our PCB, so we have this spot. So these are 2 resistors we have to remove. So to show you one other method, whenever you don't have your or a thermo tweezer, you can always use your soldering station. Just add some more solder, and you can just remove the whole resistor. As you see, they are coming off easily. Let's take them off. Okay, come on. So this step is also done. Of course, as I always like, use a piece of cloth and isopropyl alcohol and clean it. Don't leave this mess behind. This PCB gonna look much better when we're gonna clean it. So now we have this R3711 and 12. It's quite hard to find it without knowing where are they, so we can use some schematic, and I know that in the schematic for this board they put the board view. So let me pull out that schematic and show you how to find those components. Okay, so I have it opened, and we need R3711. So let's go back here, R3711. And this will show, oh, here we can just see what these components are doing. So I know that these 2 resistors we had to add, they are responsible for some communication, like this WLAN TX lines. So that was 3704 and 05. So we are looking for this one, but let's click R3711, next one. It should take us to a board view. So here you can see we are having this connector, and I believe this connector is TH3203. So this connector is a connector to our Blu-ray drive. So we have to look for those components just next to that Blu-ray drive. Let's go back to microscope. So we are back on our manual, and we have to add some resistors and remove one. So let's go to microscope here, and we have to add these one. So our clue here are those 2 big pads, and we have to solder this resistors. Again, let's put some fresh solder on it and remove, clean it with a solder work. Okay, like so, and let's clean it. This will make our life much easier. And let's solder or tin this side of the components. Okay, now we have to go to our donor board and get these components. So let's go back here. Okay, use our okay, let's set this to 300. Okay, because I turned off accidentally this thermal tweezer. Okay, so I don't know if you're gonna see it. Focus. And let's take our resistors. Okay, I have it. Try not to lose it. And actually we can try to solder it with this tweezer. But you know what, that's too big. Let's use the proper way. And let's solder it the way it should be. Okay, here. Okay, oh no, it's not done yet. Add more solder here. Okay, oh. Okay, let's take another one. Okay, we have it again. Let's go back to our board. Gently. Oh, I forgot to show you that dimension. So let me finish this one and I'll grab a caliper to show you guys how it looks like. Well, I don't like this. Let's fix the position with hot air. This should align them properly. Of course, we can use hot air to solder them, but it's easy to blow them off. Oh, see, it's wasn't soldered at all. Okay, now this one's aligned. This one too, they just jumped into its place. Of course, again, let's wash it. Much nicer. So now let's focus on removing R3510, I believe, and adding R3714. So let's remove this one first. This one's here. You know what? Let's flip this over and try to remove it like so. I don't think I'm gonna be able to grab them. So let's use other method. Of course, some flux. And try to, add fresh solder and just take it out. Okay, it's out and you can see it. I have it on my soldering tip. Okay, this one's removed. Now let's grab another C3714. And this is here. Oh, so wait. Okay, this is this is our resistor. So let's add a little bit of flux. So this is the one. And let's try to take it out. Okay, we have it. Go back to the board. You see it? No, you don't. Okay, this is our spot. Oh, I didn't clean it. So let's find out if we're gonna be able to solder it as is. Let's clean the tip. Oh, don't stick. You know what? It's gonna be much easier to clean it as before. So let's clean and let's wick it. Okay. Add some more fresh solder. Okay. And okay. And of course, let's clean it. Okay. Let's move on. So now we're gonna have a little bit harder part because we're gonna have many components here to add. And again, let's find out where this components are located on that PCB. So let's try to find Q3501 on this board. So Q3501, and we are where? Oh, that's here. Okay, so this one is right to next to this NAND flash. So that's gonna be easy to find. Let's go back to microscope, and we're gonna have our NAND flash here, and right next to it we have our missing components. So again, let's start with cleaning that pads, and let's add some fresh solder to one of the pads of each component. Okay, as you can see, we have our pads prepared, and let's try to take our parts from the donor PCB. Okay, again, which were they? So let's start maybe with the transistor. I believe I will have to add fresh solder to remove the components too. It may be tricky, and I hope I'm not gonna lose any. Okay, let's add more. Sorry you don't see it, but I have to do it somehow. Okay, we have our transistor. So let's try to solder it first. At the end, of course, I'm gonna try to reflow everything here just to make sure that everything's aligned. Let's add some. Oh, we don't need to. Okay. Should be okay now. Okay, let's. Oh, you didn't see it, sorry. And unfortunately, my camera doesn't take the whole view from the PCB. Whatever I see in this binoculars, you just see a small piece of that thing. So please forgive me that. So let's take this resistor. This one goes here. Let's fix it. Let's fix the alignment. Okay. Oh, don't go out. As I said, at the end, to make sure that everything is soldered correctly, we will just do that reflow. Okay. No, I cannot go underneath. Okay, I have it. That's the bottom resistor. Oh, don't go out. Oh, huh. It's tricky. Okay, add some more fresh solder. Okay, as I said, we're gonna use a hot air station just to align this at the end. Oh, we have to remove something here. We have to remove R3538, and this is this one. Let's try it this way. You know what? No. Let's try take it like so. Okay. Okay, it's gone. Okay, I don't know if it's gone or it just lost it. Never mind, we don't need it. Okay, 3 more components left. Capacitor. Come on. Okay. So capacitor is going here. Okay. Should be fine. And 2 more components. So now we need to remove the diode. So also remember that the diode has 2 sides, anode and cathode. And we have to put it the same way. Okay. And we have it. Okay. As you see, we have this line, and we have to put it the same way as it was before on the other board, and we have this view from that tutorial. So last resistor left. I have no I cannot remove it, it's so tiny. I still remember about showing you guys that dimension of this component. So just a small info from future Paul. This resistor will make you almost crazy. I have it somewhere. Okay, I still see it. Okay. Come here. Try not to make a bridge. or short anything. I believe this side is a ground plane. So let's help ourselves with some hot air. And you could see it moved. Okay. Now I believe it should be fine. Let's heat this up. Okay. Okay, it's bouncing as you can see, so let's fix all others. Okay, it's down. This one is also fixed. Oh, you don't see anything. I'm sorry. Okay, let's move on. Of course, cleaning. So after cleaning, it's looking fine. I just found out that my camera is disconnected, so we are back to our soldering. Just one more site, one more picture left. So we have to remove this R3207, move R3727, and to R3715, and populate all other components, including that T3702 fuse. So let's go back and find this connector, because this connector is the connector which is going right to the Wi-Fi board. So let me go back to microscope. So under the microscope, we're having our connector and our missing components. So let's start first with moving that R3727 and moving it to that other position. So what we have to do, we have to take, which one is it? We have to take this resistor and move it to this place. So again, let's first clean up that spots, so our work gonna be much easier. Let me just see. Okay, everything is working now. Okay, so let's, or you know what, let's solder all of the points we need. So this one we also need, and we need this big spots here, this one and this, and of course some of these. Whenever you're gonna see that your solder is sticking to that PCB, you can always help yourself with hot air. Just be gentle, because we are working just next to that plastic connector. You don't want to melt it. Or always you can change your tip to a bigger one. So let's work with a bigger tip, like so. Okay. And use a wick so we can fix it, or I mean clean it. Okay, this one's cleaned. Let's go back to this spot. Okay, so again, let's solder this pad here, and as you can see, the thick tip is good, but not for this job. So let's go back to our small one. And go back to our resistor. Okay, this one also turned off. Fortunately, it heats up really quick. I really recommend this secure. This is not a sponsorship. I bought it for myself with my own money. Nobody sent it to me, but this is something really helpful in this kind of job. As you can see, it's crooked a little bit, and but it's working. Helpful, really highly recommending. I would like to have this, oh, bridge. I would like to have this resistors here soldered well, because I don't want to use hot air here this much. Okay, let's go to our donor board and get our tiny resistor. Add some more solder. Okay, we have it. Okay, this one goes here. I'll lay down. Okay, the tiny bit of solder here. Fix connection on the other side. Okay, let's move on to the other side here. So let's start with that big one. That big one is CECHB01 fuse. Okay, let's wiggle it. Okay, we have it. And fortunately, it doesn't matter which way I'm gonna solder it. Okay, but we have to solder it first, right? It's a big thermal mass. Maybe that's gonna be easier to go from this side. Oh, you don't see it again. You know what? Let's change the tip. This tip should make it. Of course, it will. Okay. I don't know how, but I will have to use some hot air here. Okay, so let's tin some pads. Let's put some solder here, here, and this one here. Okay, we have another capacitor. Okay. Gonna clean it after, when we're gonna add some fresh flux. Let's do it now. It's gonna be easier to work on. Oh, here. Okay, it should be fine now. Okay, grab another component. This one is holding quite well. This one side is connected to ground, so let's add some leaded solder. If it doesn't want to go this way, let's use our tip. Okay, it went well. I am trying to squeeze my back here. So probably looks quite fancy at this side camera, but it's all good. Oh, we go back. Okay. Like over. Oh, I can see this is a 0 ohm resistor. So this is just a connection. Okay, come on. So this is 0.0805 resistor, and all others, the tiny ones, are 0402. I promised you to show you this one. Zero it. I have a caliper here, and I would like to measure this big one. So how to show it? Okay, let's go to other view. So we are having 0 here. Let's put 0, and let's measure, for example, this component. It's 0.45 this way, and let's measure it this way. It's 1.03 millimeter, and we have to solder this type of components. The last one I just showed you is this big one, but this is still 1.24 by 2.0. So this is what kind of components we are working with here. But let's go back to the board, because there is one more thing left, and this is that R3207 have to go out, and this is this one here. And let's remove it. Am I right? Yes, 2 dots here. Okay, let's try to save this component just in case. I don't think I'm gonna use them at all, but just in case, let's have them. Okay, this is our board after cleaning. I'll re-clean it again after. Okay, this is This is all okay. Good enough for now. So now we're back to our manual. So we are after all of these pictures. So we just have a note that failure to remove these components, as previously mentioned, will result in network errors. So we're gonna have this errors. So now we need to connect with our UART, and we need to out to syscon's internal mode to read the 2 bytes from this addresses and the following with this command. So let me solder our syscon reader and log into that internal mode. So we have our syscon reader connected. Let's plug this in. So now whenever we are in our command prompt, let's do out. And authorization successful. We are in. So now our manual says that we need to read those bytes. So let's copy this command and go back to our command prompt. Enter. And this manual says that we should get 0003. So this is exactly what we got. So now, of course, if your syscon differs, note down your original values in case you want to revert any changes later. So just be careful and be sure. So again, let's copy other command and go back to our syscon. Okay, right. Success. And now we need to use EEP checksum command to fix checksums because they were broken now. So EEP checksum. And we have to fix it on the address 32FE. So we have to write A864, enter, EEP checksum, and our checksum is fixed. So let's go back to manual and use EEP checksum, power cycle your PS3. So let's turn that PS3 off with the switch, turn on again, and go back to our, oops, I screwed it. That's not the one. I should copy it from here and go back to our syscon. So whenever we are in a syscon, we have to go Control C because it goes out again. And whenever we are in, just try to read, and we should have those FFs. Go back to manual, and this is exactly what we should get here, FF instead. So let's further. So technically now we are done with our syscon, and we have to assemble this console to a state where it can be powered on without overheating. So we're gonna put back our heatsink and paper spacers, and we're gonna put Wi-Fi board, the one with actually Wi-Fi, not just Bluetooth board. I just said it wrong. And also we're gonna put a Blu-ray drive to perform manufacturing update. And the guy is still recommending that connecting everything when performing firmware updates. So of course, do not use the B model now. Bluetooth board, use the one from A, C, or E. Technically, C is a European version. That this is a little bit different. I have never seen that one before. So let's move on. So now our tutorial says turn on the console and verify it is still in factory service mode. So now the console is starting. Let's see if this one has that red rectangle. So let's wait a little. Yes, it is still in that factory service mode. So now let's go back to manual. So now we have to pair our controller and highlight over network settings. Then we have to open debug menu by pressing the following button combo at the same time. So let me find out because left 1, left 2, or right 1, right 2, and D-pad, L3, D-pad down. Okay, let me find out. I'll be right back. Okay, now we have to highlight over network settings. Okay, so using this combination of buttons, it took me to the debug settings menu. So let's find out what's inside. I don't see anything. Connection. Maybe. Oh. So we do have that WLAN device on as on our tutorial. So let's go back to the tutorial. So because we are after it and we need to select our wireless connection. So let's go back here and let's find where this option is. Give me a second. Okay, so in the same menu, we have that internet connection settings. Click OK and say custom, wireless, and scan. So let's wait a little and see what's gonna happen. Okay, access point was not detected, but we have a wireless connection visible. So let's follow the tutorial and let's take that factory service mode off from this console. So now let's go back to our tutorial. Turn off the PS3 and put the following files on the root of the USB drive. Make sure you're using LV2 self. That is 366 kilobytes in size, along with a Rogero 3.55 PUP file. These files can be found on the blind update folder. Okay, so we are back to our CECHB01 Wi-Fi package. And let's go to that blind update folder and copy these files and put this to our drive. After copying it, of course, we have to remember to eject the drive safely. Okay, so this one is copied. Let's eject it. Save to remove. So now you can see that our LED is red, so the console just turned off. And now I took that USB stick and I plugged it into the computer. So let's find out if we also gonna get a log file like our tutorial is saying. So now plug USB back to your computer and check for that updater log txt. So this is how our USB stick looks like. We are having a new file, updater log txt, and this is our text file. So let's go through it. Of course, we have times. How long did it take? Let me just move it here, and we are looking for the end of it. So manufacturing updating success. And do we have the same code as in a manual? So let me see. So 2F00. Yes, we are having the same thing. So let's go on. We didn't get any errors, and everything looks fine. So after this, immediately delete the blind updated files from the flash drive after use. So let me do this. And now open the folder labeled exit FSM and copy this file to the root of USB. It should be 202 kilobytes in size. So we are having our folder, and exit FSM 200 kilobytes here, copy and put on our drive. Of course, eject. Oh, wait. We are getting some errors. Give me a sec. Okay, so we do have it. Now plug USB stick to the same port as always. To the far right USB port. Turn on the console like normal. It should shut down on its own. So now we are waiting for it to turn off. We can see that, let me see. I don't know if you've seen that, but it turned off. So now we can remove that USB and turn the console on. And I just got this error. My bad, I'm sorry. I didn't plug that hard disk in. Give me a sec. Now we are back on. And from here our issue started. This error 800.10.201 means there is no connection with our daughter board responsible for Wi-Fi and Bluetooth connection. Of course, yes. And let's do mountain time. Oh, not this way. So let's wait for this checking connection. So now we are in that menu. So let's follow, and you can see we don't have that red rectangle, so we are out of FSM, factory service mode. And the reason of our issues was probably this leg. It's not soldered properly, and that's why it doesn't want to connect. At least I hope. Yes, you hope. So let's fix it. I wasn't able to find this problem. Let's help ourselves with hot air. But the problem was right next to it. So I hope this was the reason it didn't want to connect. Okay. Now it's much better. So all the time it was tricky because of this tiny resistor R3520, because I spent a lot of time troubleshooting it, what's going on and why it doesn't want to connect. This tiny resistor was an issue. Instead of having 2.2 kilo ohms, it was measured as almost 100 kilo ohms. I don't know if I damaged it during swapping from board to board or something else happened, but this was the issue. After replacing it with a brand new one, unfortunately I didn't have 0402, I put 0603, but it fit completely fine. It started working again. So you have to be very careful whenever you're swapping the parts and whenever you are soldering them. do not to damage those tiny parts. I already showed you that component with a caliper and measured it, so yeah. So let's start our console again and see if we're gonna have the same error. No, we don't. Now you can see we are having this connected without any error, and I can show you I am having this pad wireless. So let's go back here and let's try to connect to internet. Network settings, internet connection setting, okay. Easy. And let's find out if that's gonna connect to internet now. Of course, wireless, scan, and as you can see, we have our networks. Let me put my password here. Okay, that's next. Let me put my password and I'll be back in a second connected. Okay, so my password's in. So let's go start. And let's check the connection now. So all the time, that small issue I've been having was a tiny resistor, and I'm going to show you which one. It didn't hold its parameters. I don't know if I damaged it during swapping that, or I don't know. So let's test the connection now. It's connected to my home network, and we'll see. And as you can see, we are connected. Both connections were succeeded. So let's try, of course, let me show you that the console isn't connected, oh, watch out, to any Ethernet at the back. So it's only on Wi-Fi. Of course, don't forget about antenna. Okay, so let's go through the rest of the tutorial. So we have still few points to do. So now we can put the console to open firmware, copy PS3 folder from 3.550FW root of your USB drive. So let's go back to our USB and copy it. So we have this firmware on our package downloaded from internet. So let's go here, copy our PS3, mark it, copy, and go to our USB drive. Let's delete whatever was here and paste our folder. This will take a second to copy. And of course, remember to eject. And let's go to our console. So we have to connect our USB and restart. No, we have to go to system update because it's in a safe mode, and start and select. So now we're gonna do that 3.550FW update in a safe mode. And we are back with 3.55 software. Let's check our version. Where was it? Oh. Let's go back to system settings and let's go down to system information. and we are having 3.55. Let's so let's go to our network settings and see our status. As you can see, we are connected. Our signal strength is 100%. So everything is completely fine. We have our console modded, and it is exactly the same as our tutorial is saying. So special thanks for Matt C for making this tutorial, and of course all of the other people which were involved. You can see them on the screen here. So in this video you were able to see the whole process of modding the console of the CECHB version into a version with Wi-Fi. It's not an easy mod, it's not for everyone. If you don't have soldering skills, as you've seen, this 0402 resistors and capacitors are not that easy to solder. It's not for you. Also, you have to be very careful with all other software used, and you have to be careful about that factory service mode, because you can break the console completely. I spent a lot of time troubleshooting why this didn't want to connect, and the reason for that was that tiny resistor. So sometimes you also, even if you're gonna follow the tutorial, you can face some issues and troubles. You have to be able to know how to troubleshoot and how to measure those components on the PCB. And this is it. This CECHB01 now has a fully working Wi-Fi, just like A01. Huge respect to the community members who made this possible. This was not a simple discovery. And if you found this useful, drop a like, subscribe for more deep level console mods, and I'll see you in the next repair. Bye!